Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nick and welcome to another speed build. So for this video, we are in the world of Newcrest and I'm sharing a single pack house. So for this one, I only used the base game and seasons, and I actually really enjoyed doing that. It gave me like sort of a different perspective of the pack, and I think I want to do more like single pack builds. However, you know, sometimes with some of the expansion packs, the items we have in the base game don't really work together. But you know, I still want to try and do some more single pack builds especially because of the buyout of EA. In case you haven't known, EA was bought by the Saudi Arabia fund organization, something. I'm not really sure of the name exactly. I knew, but I forgot. But because they're bought by Saudi Arabia, basically a lot of people have decided to stop buying packs for the game or financially supporting EA for that matter. So I wanted to do some more single pack builds because I think that the people who have already some of the packs and may not have all of them would want some more builds for their save files, especially now that they won't be getting any packs. I'm one of them as well, and even though I don't like spreading negativity here on the channel, I think that's a pretty serious matter that we need to discuss. But you know, because some people want to stop buying new content for The Sims pretty much, I thought that it would be a good idea to start doing some single pack builds so that these players can have some new things to add to their game, especially if they don't own every single DLC available. But for this one, I decided to use seasons because I feel that it is one of the most misunderstood sort of expansion packs, in the sense that people see it only as the pack that gives you different seasons, judging by the name, and don't really focus on the gameplay. And even though I haven't done a lot of gameplay with this, I've only done some gameplay while I was playtesting this build, and to be honest, I really liked the pack, even though I haven't really dove into it all that deeply. But yeah, actually I went for this more of like a craftsman type of style home, because I think that this is a style that came with the pack, in the sense that the items designed for this one are mostly catered towards that kind of architectural style. And the reason why I decided to build this one in Newcrest is because this expansion pack, I think, is the only one that doesn't come with a new world, and that's kind of, I don't know, kind of disheartening. I would like to have a new world with this one specifically, but I understand the decision behind it not to include a different world for this one, because this pack changes all the worlds you own. Now, the issue is with some of the newer worlds, seasons would not affect them when it came to snow. So we have like worlds like Ravenwood that came with Life and Death, and then we have Ciudad Enamorada that came with the Lovestruck expansion pack, and these worlds do not change. Well, I think that they have like an autumnal version if you have seasons, but when it comes to snow, it just doesn't snow in these worlds, and that's something kind of realistic depending on the geographical location of the real world that these on the real country that these worlds are based off of. But you know, we are in The Sims, we have vampires and mermaids and fairies, so I think that it would be fine if it just snowed in a world where the IRL equivalent does not have snow, if that makes sense. But still, I think it's a very good pack. I think it's one of the must-haves actually, just because it gives you just so much, and it's very immersive in the sense that you can have different holiday seasons, so that I feel opens up the door to more storytelling, in my opinion, because a lot of the times storytelling is actually visual as well, and this is the reason why I like building so much, because you might have a specific household in mind and a specific storyline, and you need like different decorations and different items to tell that story through the build. But yeah, I don't know, I feel that it's a very unique pack, especially when it came out back in the day. I think it was kind of groundbreaking for the game. But yeah, I don't know, I think it's very wholesome as well. You can have different costumes. I feel that there are some holidays, some celebrations. So you have sort of like Halloween kind of situation. I haven't played it with it, but I think I've seen it in videos explaining how the different holidays work and how the calendar system works. Now with that pack, with the seasons pack, we got the calendar system, but I think that at some point they decided to take it out of the pack and add it to the base game. I'm not really sure if that's actually correct or not, but I think I've heard about it on one of the videos I was watching on YouTube. But there might be a case where some of the celebrations are not included in the base game, of course, and are locked behind the expansion pack. I'm not really sure if I like that. Like they've done it sometimes. They've done it before with other items, like for example, we had a bed with Parenthood, and they decided to add it to the base game and create a bunk bed equivalent of it. And even though I understand it, at the same time, I'm like, can't you just make a completely new design for a bed? Because we've already paid for something that went free at some point. So, you know, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating and upsetting when you have already paid for something and then that becomes free. But, you know, I'm not totally against it because, of course, some people don't have the money to get all packs. So, you know, I think that they deserve to have good things as well. But yeah, as you can see, this house has already taken its shape. I was working off of a reference photo found on Pinterest, actually, and even though it's not copied to a T, it's definitely heavily inspired by that, especially the facade. I didn't have a reference photo for the back of the house, and that's usually how it goes for my builds. I go with the front of the house, trying to get inspired by a reference photo, and then when it comes to the back of the house, I just go with whatever comes to my mind at that time. And I think that's actually pretty nice in the sense that we might be different builders using the same reference, but because we create a different back of the house, then the floor plan is completely different. So, you know, you can have similar houses, but they are different in that way as well. So, you know, that's just what I have in mind. But actually for this one, I wanted to rely heavily on seasons and not so much on base game. So I just used the base game wherever the seasons expansion pack fell short. So for the exterior, I used a lot of the paneling, and I really like that one. My only complaint is that it doesn't come in any brighter or more colorful swatches, so we have a lot of darker color schemes, but it's actually very nice. I decided to go for the one that it's more brownish or gray. I don't really remember what I used, but I think I went for the more brown swatch. But there's also a very nice blue and green swatch as well. They all look very pretty, and even though it's one of the wallpapers I don't tend to use all that much, while I was building this, I was like, why haven't I used this more often? So I think that's gonna be something I wanna do more often for sure. And maybe I might do another only seasons build as well, because, you know, I think that seasons is one of the packs that everybody has, but there are not enough of like single pack builds out there, I feel. And it makes sense because you don't have a lot of clutter pieces. Some activity items might be locked behind other expansion packs. So of course you need a bigger selection of packs to actually create what you have in mind specifically. But here in the backyard, we have some of the sprinklers. I think you can play in the sprinklers, and they might also water your plants around it. I might be mistaken, but I think that it happened while I was playtesting this build. We also have this scarecrow item, which you can talk to and it can turn alive and it can join your household, I think. I'm not sure if you can ask it to join your household or if you have to do that through cheats. But whatever the case is, it's actually pretty creepy, but also kind of cute at the same time. So I really liked it and I wanted to place it there. We of course have some plant boxes for your Sims to do some gardening. We also have a swing set. I think that the swing set is functional. Yeah, I think it's functional because I remembered that with Growing Together, we got a debug swing set and that's not functional, but with Seasons, the one I used, you can actually use it. So that's very nice. And it comes in very cute and bright colors as well. So I really enjoyed it. So I think that the backyard is a nice little place where your Sims, both your adult Sims and your kid Sims, can be together in the same place but do different activities. But it's also a nice little space for them to bond, I feel. So we have some things for the kids, and we also have a lot of things for the adults. I also added the flower arranging table, which is exclusive to the season's expansion pack. So you can create different flower arrangements, as the name suggests. It's also a different skill you can develop. And if you own other packs like the Get to Work expansion pack, which introduced the retail system, or the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, where you can create your own business, you can actually sell your flower arrangements. I'm not sure if you can sell flower arrangements if you don't own any of these packs. If you only have the base game and seasons, you should be able to, I feel. But if you own these ones, it's actually a bit easier to do so. Or another thing you can do is that if you have some of the market tables, I'm not really sure with which packs they came, but we got one with the Home Chef Hustle kit, Home Chef Hustle stuff pack, not kit. But there are some stuff packs or game packs or expansion packs where they gave us quite a few of the market tables, so you can actually place your flower arrangements on there and have a yard sale and sell them through that, and that's gonna make you some money as well. But I like these systems, like the Business and Hobbies one, the Get to Work one, and the market tables, because you can actually mark up the price, and that means that the better you get, the more you can sell your items for, so you make more money. And I think that's actually very nice. So in that sense, seasons also comes with like a career sort of situation. I'm not sure if we have an actual career in the game, but you can turn flower arranging in your job, for example. But yeah, as you can see in the hallway, I was trying to add some different things. I was trying to add some things to make it look a bit more interesting, because we got two separate hallways. One that is one that you enter right when you pass through the front door. The other one is like off of the kitchen and has access to the second floor. But for the entrance, I tried to initially add a love seat to kind of make it look like a little corner where you can change your shoes and whatnot. But we also have a dresser there with some decorations and a mirror, and I really like how that one turned out. And here in the living room, I used the living room set that we got with seasons. Actually, this room is very season heavy, to be honest. And this sofa and love seat combination is something that I don't really use. I used to be a big fan of the design of the living room set, but as time went by and we got new items and stuff, I stopped liking it as much. But you know, for this one, I didn't have any other options. Actually, we did have another option, but I don't think it came with a 3-seater couch. It only came with an armchair and a love seat, so I decided not to use it here. But I'm very satisfied with the swatches of the couches I use. This purple color, I think, goes very nicely with the more cream, I suppose, or maybe salmon color that leans pinkish, sort of. But I think that it goes very nicely together. And I also used the big coffee table. Again, it's one of the coffee tables I don't tend to use all that much. But I don't know, I really like the fact that I was forced to use specific items and kind of get out of my comfort zone, because of course, if you own a lot of packs, you're gonna lean towards specific items most of the time. So that's a thing I liked for this one, that I was able to discover new items that I might not liked before, or they might not had drawn my attention before. But now, you know, you take a look at different things, you might discover some items that have different functionalities and you weren't aware of. So yeah, I think that these kind of builds are very sort of enlightening in that way. I think that enlightening is a big word for no reason. It doesn't really describe what I want to say, but I think you understand what I'm going for. But here in the kitchen, this one was kind of difficult to figure out because we have two archways, one leading to the front entrance and the other one leading to the back of the house, which has access to the second floor and also to the backyard as well. But because this room was very narrow, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to lay out the kitchen, in the sense that I still wanted a lot of counter space for my Sims to cook, of course. But because we don't have a designated dining room, I also wanted to add a dining table here for your Sims to sit down and eat. But I think that the way it turned out really suits the floor plan and the house itself. So we have this sort of kitchenette area. It's not the biggest kitchen, but we also have room for a 4-seater table, which you can turn into a 5-seater if you add an additional chair there. But I didn't do that. I liked how it looked with the 4 seats instead. And I added a lot of decorations actually. We have a lot of more autumnal decorations as well, which I really like because autumn is my favorite season of all times. Even though where I live in Greece, we don't have like we don't have seasons like spring or autumn, which in my mind are more of like transitional seasons. We have either winter and then we go straight to summer. So autumn and spring last for only like a couple of weeks or maybe 3 weeks at best. And then it's either very cold or very hot. But I really like autumnal vibes and decorations. So I really like this pack actually. And this is actually another reason why I love this expansion so much, because we can have autumn in our games. And I think you can see it around the house. I think I placed a family here and then I changed the season because some of the trees are a bit more orange and, you know, they are in the autumn season as well. So yeah, I think I did that because another thing I have an issue with is that we cannot change the season in build mode. If you access the build through manage worlds, you have to go to live mode, place a household, and then change the season, and then access the build mode through your household, if that makes sense. Because when I build, I don't necessarily have a family in mind from the beginning. It might come to me as I'm building, which was the case for this one as well. But most of the times I just go with having nothing in mind for the household. So, you know, it would be nice if you could change things around. But actually talking about the household, I was imagining that we have, I think, a family of 4 or maybe no 5 Sims. I feel we have 2 parents, a mom and a dad. We have 2 children, and there's also their aunt living here with them. So I didn't want to focus on the children all that much for the storyline, but I wanted to focus on the aunt a bit more because I imagined that she is the sister of the mother of the family, but she had some shortcomings and I think she lost her money, gotten into a divorce from her husband, and now she's by herself. She doesn't have anybody else to lean to, or she doesn't have her own money because maybe her husband was very wealthy, so she didn't need to work, and so she didn't have a career. And after they broke up, she was kind of lost, so she went to her sister, and her sister was like, you know what, you can stay with us for as long as you want. We will take care of you. You don't need to find a job right away, just live with us, make sure to feel better, but you know, me and my husband really work very hard. They don't have enough time, and the children are very young. So if you could like help around the house, probably like cook or take care of them when we are away. And I think that the sister was more than happy to do so. And before that, she didn't really have a close connection to her niece and nephew. So this is actually a very good opportunity for her to kind of bond with her family a bit more. I think that while she was married, she was a bit more detached from the family, and she was very clingy to her husband, but not in a bad way. She was just madly in love, and she wanted to be around her husband and make sure that he felt wanted and good in the relationship. But that kind of took a toll on her relationship with the rest of her family. But now she has the chance to kind of mend things. And so she is the one that kind of takes care of the house. And, you know, because the parents work a lot, she has to be at home to watch over her nephew and niece. But she does the cooking. She may be doing the laundry as well. I didn't use the laundry day stuff pack here, but you know, if you want that, you can add it here, and that's gonna be like an additional thing the aunt has to do, or you know, whatever household member you want to be here. But yeah, this is actually what I had in mind for this specific household. And actually the bedroom that we have on the ground floor is the aunt's bedroom. For this one, I went for a color scheme that kind of ties in with the rest of the house as well, because I feel that this is not a very personalized room in the sense that it might be one of the guest rooms, or it was like a storage space and they kind of redecorated it or repurposed it for the aunt to be able to live here. But we have a lot of cream colors, a lot of pink, so it's a bit more of a neutral color scheme. So I can imagine that many different Sims can live here as well. It doesn't matter if it's like a boy or a girl, or they have different personality traits. I think it's very suitable for different Sims as well. But moving on to the second floor, actually, here we have the parents' bedroom, and I used this double bed that we got with Seasons. Again, it's not one of my favorite. It's not my favorite bed, but I really liked it here, and it's starting to grow on me a lot. I definitely should use it a lot more because it has very fun swatches and very fun colors as well. But for this one, I went for this more bluish wallpaper, and I really like how it blends together with the brown colors and maybe some pops of yellow and orange we have here. We have also some cream colors as well, but I just love the combination of blue and orange, which makes sense because they are supposed to be complementary colors, but it looks so good in here. And in my mind, it really looks like a normal parents' bedroom over here. And as you can see, initially I had this frame TV that we got with one of the login events. I'm not sure if it was a login event or if it was like a quest event, because they tend to change things around. Sometimes it's one way, and other times it's the other way. But initially I had the frame TV, but I decided against that, and so I placed this small plasma screen on the dresser, because that was kind of reminiscent of what I'm familiar with and what I have grown up with when I was younger. So I think that's a lot more realistic in my mind and a bit more old-fashioned, and that's something I really appreciate when I build, is when I add things that kind of look like older pieces. And that's something that I would like to see in The Sims 4 a bit more, actually, because a lot of the things we get are a bit more modern leaning. So I would like to have like some very vintage 70s TV where it's like a big box, like it's like I can't really explain it, but it's like a furniture piece with a built-in TV screen, if that makes sense. So I would like to see that we have nothing like that in the game as of now. I have seen some people kind of use a cabinet piece with like an open space, and they place a TV inside that. So that works as well. I might try and do that in one of my future builds, but that's something I would like to see as a separate item as well. And so I'm kind of disappointed that The Sims 4 is coming to an end when it comes to expansion packs and DLC. We are going to get the marketplace. I'm not a fan of that. I might do another video discussing it, but you know, I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. I would like to see some more expansion packs. I understand that the game might be in a state where it cannot support new DLC, so you know, it is what it is, but I feel that they should have done something more with older aesthetics in the game, because you know, a lot of the people like The Sims 1, The Sims 2, and these games came out during a time where like now it's considered vintage. So I think that they should have done that just to feed our nostalgia, you know. But anyway, we have arrived to the kids' bedroom, actually. So here, this bedroom is actually very oddly shaped. The way I created the floor plan, made the room be so weird in terms of the shape of it, but because I had two children in mind, I think they are twins and they shared like the same hobbies, but each one likes different things about that. So one of the Sims is very much into animals and the other Sim is a lot into maybe insects or just plants in general. So they both like nature, but different aspects of it. But here we have this bedroom. Initially, I didn't really know what I wanted to go for. I used the same bed, but in different swatches. They look kind of similar in the sense that the swatches have similar colors, but overall they're a bit different to kind of reflect that, to kind of reflect their personality as well. But over here, as you can see, I decided to use each side of the rooms to create like different nooks for the kids. So we have one bed on the one side and another bed on the other side. We also have a desk here where both can do their homework. They might take turns to use the desk or whatever the case may be. We also have a lot of games. We have a lot of Blarfies. I also added the Scouts board, which came with seasons. And to be honest, this is by far my favorite thing in the whole expansion pack. I cannot stress it enough. I haven't played a lot with the expansion pack. As I said, I was just playtesting the build and did some like a couple of hours of gameplay off camera, but I really wanted to test out the Scouts activity for children, and it's so freaking fun, and I feel that it's so meaningful. It's a very meaningful type of gameplay in the sense that as your children grow, they need to do different tasks. So they need to take out the trash, for example, or do the dishes. And in terms of storytelling, I think it's very valuable to have that in the game because you can teach your children values like taking care of the house and being considerate and these kind of things. And when they complete those tasks, they get their badges. Now you can actually view the badges on the board, but I would like another feature where you could actually see the badge on your sim. For example, maybe they can unlock a t-shirt, or maybe it works like the jewelry we got from the Crystal Creations stuff pack where you can actually wear the jewelry or something like that. Or maybe we could have an item where it's like a badge case and they could actually have all the badges so you could access them, or you could hang them on the wall or something like that. You know, I would like to see that kind of incorporated into live mode a bit more when it comes to decoration pieces, but it's a very fun activity for children to do. And yeah, so pretty much this is for the bedroom. We have a lot of activities I try to use as much as possible for the kids. And also we have a small bathroom on the second floor as well. This one is a full bathroom. We have a half bathroom on the ground floor, but here we have a shower tub combo. So I decided to use that because you might have cats and dogs. So if you have a dog, you need to bathe them and you will need either a shower tub combo or a bathtub. So just decided to use the shower tub combo here. We have a sink and a toilet, so it's a pretty basic full bathroom. But here we have the guest room. So this is one of the spare rooms in the house. This one is a pretty big house, so it has a lot of rooms. And this one is just a spare room. They might have like grandparents coming over visiting. So if you have like the Growing Together expansion pack, some Sims might visit you and they will come with their suitcase and live wherever there is space for them. So I think that's very cute. I love when Sims arrive with their little suitcases. It's very wholesome in my mind. And these are the things that I like enjoy the most, these small details. When the Sims decide to kind of ignore that, it's kind of discouraging. But you know, I really like this game, honestly. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, here we have like just a single bed. We have a dresser, a TV again, which is very realistic, as I mentioned. And we have like a little, like a little bench situation under the window, where I think it's very cozy for the Sims to sit there and read. Of course, you can't sit there. I could have made that functional if I placed an actual bench and merged it into the coffee table. Is that a coffee table? or whatever it is into that item. But you know, it's just to play pretend. So I'm fine. Personally, I'm fine with that. But if you don't like that, I think you can go ahead and change it. It shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the speed build. So let me give you a little tour of the house. So here we have the house in game. As you can see, autumn has already set in. We are in late autumn, I feel. And here is the family I've created for my gameplay and for this specific build as well. But let's take a look at the house. Over here, we have like a bicycle. We have a picnic bench, and we have these buckets which your sims can use, and they can play like water balloon fights and whatnot. Over here in the back of the house, we have this grill. Over here we have this swing set with the scarecrow I was talking to you about. We have some plant boxes, the flower arranging table, and I also added these 2 bee boxes as well, so your sims can collect honey actually and sell it maybe. Going in the house, we have this entranceway with a dresser, some knickknacks. We have this wreath over here and the curtains covering the glass part because we don't want to have strangers looking into our house. We have this coat hanger situation. I added the alarm that we got with one of the updates because we don't want burglars coming in and stealing our stuff. Here we have the living room. We have this bookshelf with some decorations. We have a 3-seater couch, a love seat, and an armchair with a big coffee table. I also had some toys for the kids to play in the living room, but I'm not sure if you can access them. There's also a toy box over here, and again, I'm not really sure if it's accessible, but they have one in their bedroom as well. Over here, we have this office space, so maybe one of the parents is a teacher or something, and they use the office space to mark some papers and do some research. Over here, we have the aunt's bedroom, so we have this bench situation under the window, and I think it's a very nice spot because she can also keep an eye out on the kids while they are playing in the backyard. We have another dresser. We have a sitting space over here with a book and a light, so she might like reading, so this is like her little cozy nook. And of course, we have a very small bathroom, which is a half bathroom, so no shower or bathtub here. So here in the second hallway, we have access to the backyard, and we also have the staircase leading to the second floor. So here for the landing, I just added a bookcase and a fish. We also have a fish. It doesn't have a fish in it yet, but you can add one if you want to. So first of all, we have the parents' bedroom. I love this bed actually. It's starting to be one of my favorites, not gonna lie. And I love the blue rug underneath. We have a dresser, but we also have 2 more over here. Actually, we have 4. Okay, that's a bit excessive. I didn't know I used so many, but okay. We have a TV screen over here, an armchair, and a mirror. And over here is the kids' bedroom. So we have the scouts board, a blarfy. We have a single bed for one of the kids and 2 bookcases with some items in it. I added the dollhouse and also toy box. We also have 2 more blarfies and another single bed for, I think it's the niece, the girl of the house. And then we have a table with some knickknacks, and this is where they should do their homework, I suppose. Right here we have a full bathroom with a shower tub combo, toilet, and a sink. And here's the guest bedroom with just a single bed. I also added a coat rack over here because they might want to have all their personal belongings in this room and not in the entrance, for example. But they also have a dresser and a TV to watch some TV before they go to bed. And here we have another bench situation below the window where they can look at the lake. Over here, I think it's so cozy, and it's a very good spot for the house as well. But this one comes with an ensuite half bathroom, so we have a toilet and a sink, and this is gonna be it for the tour. So by the time you're watching this, it's gonna be on my gallery. You can download my builds at Cozy with Nico. But here we have this cozy family home, so if you search by name, you should be fine. You should be able to find it. It's on a 30 by 20 lot. It comes at a bit over 100,000 simoleons, which is not too bad, I feel. And it's actually built on the lot Asphalt Abodes. I might have typed it wrongly, but this is where it goes. I think the name is correct. And as you can see, it only uses seasons. So if you only have the base game and seasons, you should be fine. So this is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this one, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to be notified whenever I'm posting a video, make sure to click the bell icon down below. As always, my socials will be in the description below if you want to check them out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!